Welcome back to another episode of Drink Tales. And today, we are doing part 2 of our look at Cocalero. Now, you know how we usually do this. Usually when we find a new liquor, so to speak, we do it in 2 episodes. First episode, we always, take a look at what we're drinking and we taste test it and things of that nature, and we talk about it. And in the second episode, we come up with our own original cocktail for the liquor. So what do we have going on today? Ooh, it's gonna be a doozy. We're gonna mess with something. So I did the research, as it were. I looked around to see, what kind of cocktails people were making with this. And for the most part, they were interesting, but I will say this, a lot of them did kind of fall within the same category of using similar ingredients and using measurements, similar measurements when it was compared to this and another spirit. And sometimes this was the base spirit. A lot of times this was accompanied with another spirit, and that spirit was the base, or that spirit was the secondary and this was the base. Okay. But I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent because there's more to say about this. When I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I also, so my first thought was I look up the botanicals that make this stuff up. The botanicals are secret, save for a few that we're aware of, like ginger and ginseng and stuff like that. Since I don't know all 17, I can't really do in other words, what I was able to pull isn't really the whole story. Right. So I'm basically pulling flavor notes from the ingredients that I know of. And one thing that they had in common that I thought was really interesting is that all of the ingredients that are in here that we know of, they go well with a couple of things all across the board. One of them was rosemary and the other one was thyme. And since we already messed with rosemary a couple of times within the past few weeks, I figured thyme would be it's time's time to shine. Okay. It's time for time. It's about time. Yeah. Would you look at the time? Guess what time it is? Enter your Flavor Flav joke right there. And then be ashamed that you actually watched. Let's throw the meme of the guy with the clock up here. So what we're going to do is, I already added our juice of half a lime. And we're going to... Lemon. And we're going to dump a sprig of thyme in here. Because I want to muddle it. Okay. And we're also going to add some sugar. Now, question. Why are you adding sugar instead of... Because I didn't want to make simple syrup. Okay. And, we don't have any simple syrup right now. This is, what we're talking about in relation to behind the scenes. But I will put down in the description, you're gonna muddle this with simple syrup. Okay. But does sugar matter? Does it matter if you do it with sugar? I mean, sugar might just be... simple syrup is just sugar. You're gonna muddle the thyme anyway, regardless. It's just that simple syrup, you don't have to go through the process of... It's more of a texture thing, is what I'm getting at. So you're gonna muddle your thyme. Espresso oils and whatnot, and keeping in mind, I haven't really messed with thyme like this before, so This is going to be purely experimental. And it's also interesting because I'm getting a peppery oregano notes from this, you know. So I'm wondering what this is going to taste like. And if this will just get back in its box, we can continue. Okay. Our next ingredient is going to be grapefruit juice, because that was another ingredient, as it were, that linked up. And with this, I want to do at least an ounce of grapefruit juice.
Right.
Because I know, like, we have lemon juice and we have grapefruit juice. You're gonna do more grapefruit juice than lemon juice, because I want the grapefruit juice to lead in flavor in that regard. That was just 1 ounce.
Right.
Good. So, like, if we're talking ounces, like, you're gonna do an ounce of grapefruit, half an ounce of lemon juice. Okay. And now for the spirits. Juniper was also one of the flavors going on in this.
Right.
And in last episode, we mentioned that juniper brings up to mind gin. So I wanted to pull that flavor out of the Cocalero. So I'm gonna use Tanqueray gin, because I feel like it's one of those gins that really pushes the flavor of juniper, as opposed to a lot of other gins on the market.
Right.
Now, you can use whatever gin you want, but I'm going with Tanqueray for this experiment in and of itself. And it's going to be an ounce and a half.
If you're wanting to recreate this and you don't want to use Tanqueray, I would say any London dry gin.
Exactly. And last but not least is our Cocalero. And we're going to do 3/4 of an ounce. Now we're gonna add our ice. Get the shakedown going. I noticed when you were muddling the juniper, you didn't like. Yeah, like you're not trying to like destroy it. Just like express the flavors and oils of the and that's it's not juniper, it's thyme. Yeah, sorry. Juniper is in the Tanqueray. Okay. Interesting, you got some thyme floating. Speaking of which, it actually looks, it actually, like, as far aesthetic wise, it looks pretty cool. I'm wondering if I even need a sprig of thyme for the, I mean, go for it. Like, I'm trying to figure out aesthetically how this should go. Yeah. there you go.
Okay, now it's time for my contribution to the video. Let's taste this baby and see what we got going on. Interesting or a bad interesting? The grapefruit is forward. I can definitely taste that thyme. The Cocalero is saying hi, but you know it's not jumping out and punching me in the face, which isn't bad. This is another like hotel quality bar drink. Second one in a row.
Luxury hotel.
Yeah, luxury hotel quality bar drink. You got, what's interesting about this one is you got a lot of flavors playing around, and you can definitely distinguish them when you're tasting. It's good. I really like it.
The thyme and that gin play perfectly together.
Yep.
Grapefruit and lemon add that punch. The Cocalero pulls everything together perfectly. Like you can taste it, but it's not forcefully in front.
Right.
Like it literally weaves in and out in between the other flavors. It's not too sweet, which is what I was afraid was going to happen with the sugar in the Cocalero.
Right.
So I need to make this amendment. When you do this with simple syrup, half an ounce.
You know, I'd say don't even do simple syrup. Just use sugar.
Just use the sugar? Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive. It's unique. It's unique for one, because a lot of people would just defer to simple syrup. Just use sugar. And I kind of wonder.
I mean, you do that with the mojito, so it's not that unique.
But you.
I mean, mojitos you either switch between simple syrup or sugar anyway. It's not. It's more of a texture thing when you're muddling.
That was where I was getting at. I also think that the sugar played a part in the muddling of the thyme, which is why you got thyme flakes. Yeah. And I think that's the important part in that, because the thyme flakes actually, like, if you were to look at this drink top down, the thyme flakes floating in the drink kind of come off as like lily pads in a pond, or even leaves falling in a pond as a significance of fall, which makes this a fall drink. And fall is either around the corner, or I think fall started already. I just know it's cold in the mornings now. I would call this that drink in between summer and fall. Like September. It's quintessentially September. Maybe not so much October, and maybe not so much August, but quintessentially September. Which brings up an idea for a name for that drink. Okay, go ahead, throw it out there. September Time. I like it. September Time. And time is spelled like time. Yeah, I get it. You don't have to explain. I just have to make sure. Let's pretend that's not for you. It's for these people. They may not have known. So now they can be like, ah. But I will say this about the time floating in the thing. If you don't want that, I suggest you double strain this. And then just, rely on a thyme sprig for your garnish. There are more talented people out there than me that can make that work and look better. Maybe you wrap it around the glass. Oh yeah, like a yeah, that would work. Like Poison Ivy from Batman. Like she would do something like that. This also looks like a drink she would drink too. But we're not doing Batman stuff. We're doing right, yeah. And for anybody, because I got to go back to this time again, because it has me intrigued. For those that like more how do you say that? Vegetative, I guess. I don't know what you're trying to say. I don't know what I'm trying to say either. But for those that are more nature oriented, I feel that this drink is up your alley. You got the, and when you're using juices, like you're not using like grapefruit juice from like a bottle or something. Like you need to squeeze your lemon and grapefruit juice for this to work. You need to have actual time for this to work. Right. Earthy with floral and citrus notes. Floral was the word I was using. I was missing or looking for. Well, with that said and done, that'll do it for this episode of Drink Tales. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell so that you're notified of all content coming to the channel. Also check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.